7-4 with a 2.63 ERA and has won 4 consecutive starts. He struck out 101 batters in 74 innings this year. Josh and Zach, NCN Sports.
Thanks for help bringing the economy back. One local purchase at a time.
Kind of uplifts you and you feel better.
It's the greatest comeback of all time. With Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
It's our 1-year anniversary of owning your local Sears hometown store in Aberdeen. Hi, this is Katherine Phelps. Joe and I want to thank all of our customers for their patronage and warm, heartfelt welcome to our new community. Remember, creating relationships and helping you make an informed buying decision is our business. And we'll price match any in-stock local competitor. So please shop your locally owned Sears hometown store, Aberdeen.
Did you know 80% of Americans think pre-planned funeral arrangements are a good idea? At Pines Funerals, we encourage our community to have a plan in place to take care of those you love so that your final wishes are observed. Call 910-947-2224 or visit us at pinesfunerals.com today to request free planning information and see why more families prefer Pines. Pines Funerals, in association with Fry and Prickett, Kennedy, and Powell Funeral Homes, serving Carthage, Robbins, Southern Pines, and surrounding communities.
War Dogs Army Surplus is Moore County's largest selection of Army surplus. They buy, sell, and trade Army surplus, and they'll match any legitimate.
Soak it up, babies. May never happen again. May never happen again. Oh, man. Wow! What's up, family? Yeah!
Or call 910-920-7749. That's 910-920-7749. War Dogs. We offer more and sell for less.
Hi, this is Rich Wagner from Whispering Pines. I've been suffering with acute back and knee pain for many months, and after trying visits to the doctor, painkillers, and spinal injections with no relief, I went to see Dr. Wright at Wright Chiropractic.
I wanted to go head-to-head with Tim Allen, and they didn't let Tim Allen do it. I don't understand that. Just as long as people come back to the motion picture theater, I want to go back into the theater with a bunch of strangers and leave with something in common.
I was skeptical about chiropractic treatment at first, but it has truly given me my life back.
This is Dr. Wright. I can't guarantee I can fix every problem, but I will tell you honestly whether chiropractic can be of help for your particular issue. Living with pain is not always the only option. Doesn't it make sense to explore every avenue before resigning yourself to the limitations of pain? Call our office today to schedule a consultation and start living again. 673-2225.
Hi, this is Rodney Swarms with Plumbing Night. We know that plumbing emergencies can happen at any time. In fact, they seem to happen at the most inconvenient times. And then inviting an unknown plumber into your home, that can add to the stress of the situation. Plumbing Night wants to alleviate any stress about inviting a technician into your home by guaranteeing that we have not only the very best plumber.
Make some noise for Rihanna!
Make me feel like I'm the only girl in the world.
Rihanna just walked in front of me. Are you kidding me?
Beautiful like diamonds.
Newest technical and customer training to ensure that they are the very best at their trade. This training is week after week, month after month, year after year. This training is what got us into community college to teach the plumbing trade. So the next time you have an emergency, call the Plumbing Night. They're known for extraordinary service and integrity.
Call the Plumbing Night at 639-5555, day or night, or on the web at theplumbingnight.com.
This is Bob Bonville at Griswold Home Care Pinehurst, and this is Linda.
It's so frustrating not to be able to pick up the phone and call somebody that can say, yes, we can help you. It's great to have Griswold Home Care to help you with the things you need. I'll pick up the phone and say, hey, I need help. And Griswold Home Care says, okay, what can I do for you?
Call me, Bob Bonville, at Griswold Home Care Pinehurst, 910-420-2360. That's 420-2360. We've been keeping the heart at home since 1982.
If you're like most folks, you love your home. You love your neighborhood and those that live around you. But when you go inside your home, you see that it is in need of a massive updating, especially those bathrooms, kitchen, and great room. You know that these areas need upgrading, but you also know what a task it is to do it yourself. Hi, I'm Steve Leader Adams, and I've built over 2,000 homes, and I and my partner Larry Postawade have over 70 years of construction experience and have our own remodeling business called Relive It Remodeling. We also pride ourselves on making remodeling jobs an easy and enjoyable process for our clients. We look after everything from permits to the last paint stroke. We also show up when we promise and stay until completion. And we also recycle any materials through the Wounded Warrior program. And here's one more promise. Nobody, and I mean nobody, does better quality work than we do. For your next renovation job, give me a call right here at WEEB at 692-7440 or check us out on the web at reliveitremodeling.com.
You know they're out there. You know. You can't
It's
see
been
them.
a long
You can't hear
day
them.
without you, my friend. And I'll tell you again, I'll see you
Your
again.
house is their main course. So you know you have to do something. What can you do? It's really quite simple. You ask for Termador, the unique treatment that wipes out 100% of the termites in your home.
Great.
Termites.
That made a pretty big bang.
Long, long time. Now you know. Only Termador is 100% effective against termites in 3 months or less. So ask for Termador by name from your pest control company. Because if you're not asking for Termador, you're asking for trouble.
Termador is available at Aberdeen Exterminating. Call 944-2474. That's 944-2474.
As our economy gradually reopens, remember to support local.
Know you're doing the right thing and stay proud.
Be a part of the greatest comeback of all time with Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
The Zumwalt Zone is proudly sponsored by Moore County Citizens for Freedom. Always looking out for you.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt Zone. Now, I'm not going to mention the name of the place, but more than likely you've eaten there. I'd be real surprised if I ever find myself eating there again. It is a national chain restaurant. The food is great at all the other ones. It just seems to me this one can't get it together. We walked into the place last week and were immediately seated. There weren't that many people in the place. The waiter was pleasant enough. We placed our order and foolishly waited, thinking our food would arrive shortly. Just about the time a normal person would have given up and gone somewhere else, the waiter walked up to us and said, "I'll be back in a little bit. I've got to move my car from the front to the back of the parking lot. That way I don't have so far to walk when I get off." And just like that, he was gone. About 10 minutes later, he showed up with some drink refills. I finally asked him about our food, which was a very simple order. He said, "Oh, I don't know, let me go check." He wandered around, I know, another 10 minutes, and finally brings over 4 small plates for our non-existent bread. I turned the plates over and dumped the water out of them. Then we dried them off. The bottom line is this. We got service that was so bad that I was being super nice because I really thought there was a good chance. There is no way I'm not on candid camera on this one. I hope you have a good day and a safe one. From the Zumwalt Zone.
Some much-needed rain is on the way. We saw a little bit of it yesterday. More showers and storms later this afternoon and clear through Saturday, I believe. Now, the thunderstorms that we see today, they could be strong to severe. We actually have a level 2 threat for severe weather with a high in the mid-90s. We also have a heat advisory in effect with heat index values probably up to 109 in some spots. Early evening storms, the low in the low to mid-70s, and more storms for your Thursday that could be severe as well. I'm Mike Mays in the Weather Center.
And now, the Sandhills' #1 morning show. Mornings with the LeaderMan. Here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
What day is it?
Today is like no other.
National Fried Chicken Day.
If you love fried chicken, and I made fried chicken, and I know that you love fried chicken, why would I make boiled turkey?
Truth be told, I do love fried chicken.
I love fried chicken.
This finger looking good.
I'm Harlan, a robot technology, and I want to wish you a happy National Fried Chicken Day.
It's showtime.
Good morning, Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sand Hills. It's time once again for Mornings with the LeaderMan. I am Steve Leader Adams, and don't forget, of course, we are being heard and seen around the world on a live video stream. That's up and running at you at talk973.com or talk1041.com or WEEB990.com. Top middle of the page is where the link's located. On your mobile device, you can always get us through our own website as well as YouTube. Just put Mornings with the LeaderMan in the search on YouTube. And you also can get our live broadcast signal on our website. Upper right-hand corner of every page has an icon that says on the air, listen live. Click it once and you're listening that quick. Weather for us today here in the Sand Hills area. Well, let's see here. It's going to be partly cloudy today with a chance of thunderstorms. In other words, it's really going to suck around here until Sunday. That's when we'll get a little break from the humidity. And the first of next week, we see a little break also. Until then, it's just going to be hot, humid. So stay hydrated. Don't forget your pets. They need it just as much as you. Bring them in if possible. Partly cloudy today, chance of thunderstorms, 91 for high heat index, in excess of 101 officially. Then tonight, mostly cloudy with a chance of thunderstorms, 75 for your low. Thursday, partly cloudy, thunderstorms likely, 93 for a high heat index, again 101. Friday, partly cloudy, thunderstorms, 93, heat index 104. It just gets better, doesn't it? And for Saturday, partly cloudy, with thunderstorms, 94 high, heat index 96. And Sunday, the humidity starts to drop in the afternoon, mostly cloudy with scattered showers and thunderstorms, high of 81. Big difference there. And Monday, partly cloudy 83, Tuesday 88 under sunny skies. Right now around the Sand Hills, winds are calm, pressure's 30-34, solar radiation 22 watts per square meter. 2.70, humidity almost maxed at 99%. It is sunny and 70, muggy 1 degrees here at Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. All right, it is 7:36, 36 past the hour. John Zumwalt joins us now in the studio. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Steve. Good morning, everyone.
Let's see where to start. So much to do and so little time to do it. Do it here. This is something that should really get under your skin, and does mine anyway. and that is oil released from our oil reserves is being sent out to other countries. More than 5 million barrels of oil that were part of the U.S. emergency oil reserve released amid a lowering domestic fuel prices were exported to Europe and Asia last month, according to Reuters. So we take our emergency oil and give it away.
Steve, I can't even imagine. The people who are listening can't imagine either. We've got oil reserves that all of us know that are for emergencies. If we go to war, have to go to war with someone, and that looks more and more likely the longer Biden sits in office, we'd use those reserves up pretty quickly just on our own. And now we're sending them to other countries when people, and to make matters worse is there are people right now filling their truck or their car up with gasoline, and it's costing them way more. I put gasoline in my truck about 3 or 4 times, I guess 5 times a month, maybe 6. And now it's $100. And then it stops, and I have to reinsert my card, and it's another whatever amount it might be. So that's way over $100 for me to fill my truck up. And we're sending our reserve emergency oil to other countries. Yeah, I'm with you. That gets under my skin.
Yeah. Some of the other tweets we picked out this morning. The U.S. Army has reportedly only met 40% of its recruitment goals for this fiscal year, which is set to end October 1st.
You know what? We talked about this the other day, Steve. You were
in the Army?
I was in the Army.
Yeah.
When you have an Army that advertises parachuting and scuba diving and mountain climbing and challenging yourself and wondering if you can do enough push-ups and wondering if you can get up in the morning and deal with all the grueling things you have to deal with and wondering that if you get in combat how you'll do. When you have an Army that advertises that to be all you can be, as opposed to we'll get you a gender change, we'll pay for that, no one will laugh at you if you want to do all the woke stuff. People joined the military primarily in the old days because they wanted to become warriors, not because they wanted to become
woke.
That's one of the, and I understand. I can't confirm this. Maybe you can, Steve, or someone can text me that the military the Army no longer requires a high school diploma in order to be in the military.
Well, they also give you signing bonus.
Yep.
In order to help meet their recruitment goals, as well as a ton of benefits. I mean, you know about all the benefits. You get the TRICARE, you get the dental, you get eyeglasses, you get psych treatment if you need, or whatever you need.
Well, if you're a guy or a gal out there and you don't really have anything going at the moment, you don't want to go to college, you really don't have anything lined up, the military is a good place to go. I'm not sure I'd recommend the Army at this moment, but yeah, like Steve said, you get all that. You go in, you have a place to stay.
You got food that's cooked for you.
Yeah, the people who run the hotel where you'll be staying are not the most friendly people in the world, but I can promise you that when you get your wake-up call, you'll wake up. And the place you're living will always be clean. You can be sure of that. And but you'll learn a skill, and you'll know the skill before you go in. They'll tell you what it's going to be. So, yeah, I don't you join the Navy or the Air Force, there'll be a little bit of harassment at first, the Coast Guard, and get some good training that you can't get anywhere else, have more responsibility than you'll ever have at that age. And best of all, as far as I'm concerned, is you get to serve this wonderful, this amazing, this great nation.
All right. Some other tweets. We got LaGuardia Airport still has a mask or face diaper mandate, but next to no one wears one. Imagine if we all said, F this 2 years ago. Cloth masks have always been decorative BS. Lesson learned, taking back your freedom is easiest when you never give it away in the first place?
Well, you know what? The trend seems to be now, and I've seen this. I was in a restaurant, the one I talked about this morning on the Zoom zone. I was in a restaurant, and I saw, I'm going to say 6 people wearing a mask, but here's what they do now. They wear it below their nose, so their nose is exposed. And the minute anyone wants to talk to them, they take it completely off, whether they're sitting at the table or whether they're walking. So I don't know if anyone's ever explained to them the nose is connected to the mouth,
Yeah.
and you breathe through your nose. The mask is doing no good. So this whole thing, the only people wearing them still are people who just flat don't understand the ridiculousness of the moment you take them off, you're breathing the same air as everyone else, even if you're eating. The COVID doesn't say, "Oh, they're eating, leave them alone. Stop right there at the tables." No, it's it just doesn't make sense.
No. A new Mammoth University poll reveals the number of Americans who are financially struggling has increased by double digits in the past years. I think the number is now 48% of Americans.
That's terrible. Of course, we know that they're going to blame COVID, and they're also going to blame Putin for everything that happens as long as we have Democrats in office. But one big reason is because young people and older people go out and get credit cards, and they max them out, and they get another one, they max it out, and they've got these giant payments that they can never get rid of unless they get someone like Dave Ramsey to get on his plan. So, yep, credit card debt's a terrible thing. I was trapped in that 20 years ago, and was blessed to have enough sense to pay it off. So, yep, credit card debt's a big part of it.
Plus, it damages your credit big time.
Say that again?
It damages your credit big time to be maxed out.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, the credit card companies will lower your credit limit.
Yeah.
To about whatever balance you owe. So if you had a $40,000 card, and let's say you got it down to $400, all of a sudden they cut your credit limit down to $400.
Well, they're in to make money, and they don't care about you, that's for sure.
Well, you're arguing with a computer at that point. Let's see. Did that. This country's at war with itself, and anyone who disagrees with that is in denial. That's from Newsmax. Let's see. Let me get this.
Here, I've got one here.
Up.
There's a Colorado funeral home, and the owner has pled guilty. She's pled guilty to selling body parts. Now, you might think, well, she probably sold an internal organ that could be transplanted, and maybe she's got some good in her. But she took bodies that were going to be cremated, and she sold the heads, some of the heads, some spines, legs, arms. I just cannot even.
These must be unclean bodies.
Say that? No, well, it doesn't say. It just says that she's in trouble. But when you're given the sacred job of taking care of someone who's deceased, and your job is to make sure that they are taken care of in the most reverent way that you can, you've got no right to do anything to that person except what you're supposed to do.
Of course, everyone remembers Sheriff Clark. He's the black sheriff who, well known in this country. You're going to hear him in a second, so you'll recognize him. But he says the country's at war with itself, and anybody who disagrees is in denial. He slams the culture of unrest that the left has created here in America. Here is what he had to say.
Well, it tells me that the country's at war with itself, and anybody that disagrees with that is in denial. And this has been brought about. Look, the American left has been fomenting hate, anger, and division within Americans for the last, I would say at least easily 6, 7, 8 years. During the Obama administration is when this whole thing started playing up, this racism, white supremacy, all this other nonsense. But, as to what happened in Highland Park, Illinois, of course it's horrific. But look what happened in the other areas of Chicago during the 4th of July weekend. You had the stats up there, 71 shot, leaving 10 dead. Chris, in New York, 54 shot, leaving 4 dead. Milwaukee had a very violent weekend as well. And this goes on every single weekend We hear nothing from Joe Biden. We hear nothing from the FBI. We hear nothing from the United States Department of Justice. We hear nothing from these two-bit Democrat Congress people who want to stand up now and use this as a ruse, exploit a situation and use it as a ruse for their number one objective when it comes to this. It's gun confiscation. It is not gun control. I was sickened that 15 GOP senators went along with every Democrat for some bill they slapped together. I'm tired of this knee-jerk reaction to this stuff, and they slapped together some policy that's not going to do anything except for hampering law-abiding citizens, and then they beat their chest and feel proud about it. Biden signed that last week, Chris, and I heard him say, this is the first meaningful gun control legislation we've had in the last 30 years. So I said, okay, I guess you got it fixed. But apparently they don't have it fixed because none of that crap is going to work. This was a one-off. Unfortunately, it's like Uvalde, right? I don't have answers for that, but neither does anybody else. And it's not these technical fixes like gun control and red flag laws and all this other nonsense that goes on.
All right, that was David Clark, Sheriff David Clark, with that comment.
He was here, Marianne Benway and Kay Wilt, the mother.
Yeah, I was there for the speech, yeah.
He was great. He was born at the wrong time. He should have been a gunfighter in the old West. He's a good man, and everything he said rang true, and he's just got so much common sense. And being a sheriff, I wish there were more like him. He just stands up and speaks and speaks his mind. He says, amazingly enough, the exact same thing that most just right-thinking people who live in this community are actually thinking.
This is from Senate Republicans. Joe Biden has forgotten that he works for the American people, not the far left. From U.S. Senator Bill Cassidy, who's also a doctor. The Biden administration doesn't have a plan for inflation. We do. We need an energy operation warp speed to lower prices at the pump quickly.
Well, you could fill a library with all the things that Joe Biden has forgotten.
Yeah. Representative Chip Roy says this is the reality of the Biden border crisis every single day. Talking about all the immigrants that just flow across unimpeded. In fact, the cartels run our border now. They decide who gets across, who doesn't. And we do nothing to stop them. And Matt Gaetz, Congressman Matt Gaetz says, one, let in millions of illegals. Two, get the illegals voting. Three, socialism.
Yep. And the real tragedy there is that no one cares. No one cares, and they won't care until it affects them directly.
Well, you just wait. You're going to be sick one day, and you're going to go to the hospital to get help, and they'll say, we're full of illegal immigrants taking all the beds.
Yep.
You go somewhere else.
Yep.
But I pay for it.
And it's not.
We don't care.
It's not just the Mexicans that are coming over. It's not just the people who are looking for work and who are honest people. It's not that. There are lots and lots and lots of drug runners and human trafficking, and you should just read a little bit about this stuff. It's I don't know. I don't even know where to start between drugs and all the women who are brought over here and are raped on the way over. I read a statistic the other day. It was extremely high of the women who were sexually assaulted while being escorted into the States. It's just, there's no good thing about this, not one. How could anyone think, open the borders, let anyone come across? Why do we even have a Border Patrol? The Border Patrol should just be able to get another job working at another place and just pay them and call them, hey, we have a Border Patrol, because they're not allowed to do their job. If they were allowed to do their job, we'd stop this nonsense.
Here's some more nonsense for you. A couple living in San Francisco has been fined over $1,500 for parking on their own driveway. Apparently, the city's planning department is enforcing a decades-old section of code that bans motor vehicles of all kinds from being parked on a car pad unless it is accompanied by a garage or cover. Here is Ed and Judy Crane talking about this crazy situation.
We can't park in the parking pad anymore. And I said, that's crazy.
If we were found parking there again, it would be a $1,500 fine.
Why are you taking away something that has great utility, not just to us, but our neighbors in terms of more parking spaces?
I guess you can park on the street, but you can't park off the street on your own parking pad.
You know what happened there? Some bureaucrats were looking through the rule book, and one of them said, oh my gosh, and started jumping up and down with joy. And the other said, what is it? And he said, I just found a rule. It was from like 1806, or I better make it a little bit later than that. Let's just say, I just found a new rule from 1920, and it says you can't park a car on a pad. And we're going to have some fun with this. And they all jumped with joy, and they had a big party and on money that belonged to San Francisco, and then they went around issuing tickets. And it makes no difference to a bureaucrat. As long as you can just enforce a rule that makes no sense, they're ecstatic. My only wish, Steve, was that you wouldn't have put this on the radio, because now one of the bureaucrats that does this kind of thing in Moore County or one of the communities here will hear about that and think, we ought to pass that rule. Maybe we should pass that rule. We're running out of things to pass.
Yeah, really. All right, let's lighten it up, play a little game with you, John.
All right.
Since you go to a lot of movies.
Let's see how silly I can make myself look.
All right, here's Alexa. We're going to play what we call Alexa Theater.
Alexa went to the movies. What movie did she see?
This is Alexa Theater.
All right, Alexa's going to read a line from one of the movies, famous movie, and your job is to tell us which movie it came from. Here we go.
Let's kick the tires and light the fires, Big Daddy.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah. Tell me what it was. Let's see how foolish I'm going to feel.
Independence Day.
That's been a long time.
That's when Harry Connick Jr. said, let's kick the tires and light the fires. Yeah, it was a long time ago. All right, we'll do one more. What movie did Alexa see?
Chicks dig me because I rarely wear underwear. And when I do, it's something unusual.
Well, I certainly don't have a clue about that one.
Well, let me play it from the actual source here.
Okay, Mr. Push-Ups. Let's hear your story.
Chicks dig me because I rarely wear underwear, and when I do, it's usually something unusual.
I would say Groundhog Day.
That's a reasonable guess because it's Bill Murray. You got that part of it. But my notes go. Here we go. It's Stripes.
Oh, yeah.
From 1983.
Yeah. That was actually a funny movie.
Yeah. Especially when he's got his little spatula out. All right. Let's check in. We've covered all the headline news. Let's see what's happening with the not headline news.
This is not headline news. Subway has redesigned its menu. Now the word bread is in quotation marks. Chick-fil-A once again tops a poll of America's favorite restaurants. And once again, America's least favorite restaurant is Red Throbster. Today is Tell the Truth Day, or as all politicians know it, Wednesday. Sammy Hagar says he makes so much money from his other businesses he doesn't even have to make music anymore. Could he possibly show Kid Rock how that's done? And Heidi Klum says she's already working on her Halloween costume. If she needs 3 months to make a mask, she must be going as Madonna. This is not headline news.
Well, 6 graduating high school seniors out of New York who happened to also be volunteer firefighters ended up springing into action for a call directly after receiving their diplomas. Here is teacher Dietrich Filippi, graduating senior Peter Rizzo, and assistant fire chief Christian Newbert talking about what happened here.
The ceremony had just concluded, and families were kind of gathering with their loved ones, taking pictures, and then you heard the fire alarm go off, and a whole bunch of our students took off across the field.
I look at my friend, and I say to him, it's time to go, and
We're in an all-out sprint. I'm in my gown, diploma in hand. They literally left in the middle of pictures. That's just a testament to just the dedication that they have.
Jason Momoa, he's the one that played Aquaman, took his daughter and son to see the Rolling Stones in London on Sunday. They were right up front. Here he is telling them to enjoy it while it lasts during Gimme Shelter.
Soak it up, babies. They never happen again. They never happen again. Oh, man. Wow! What's up, family? Yeah!
And he's old enough to remember the Rolling Stones.
You know what? The Rolling Stones, when I was in Vietnam in 69 and 70, I remember two things. I remember whirling helicopter blades, and I remember the Rolling Stones. And I'll be doggone, I'm in Iraq. I was in Iraq, let's see, the first time, 2003 and 2004. And doggone it, there's the Rolling Stones with over the radio with current hits. And I thought, well, you know, both of us have screwed up twice, and here I am, and here you guys are. So I guess they made the better choice.
All right, let's see. Tom Hanks poked fun at the controversy surrounding the fact that Tim Allen didn't voice Buzz in the new Lightyear movie. Here's Tom on if it was weird going up against Bud Lightyear movie at the same time his Elvis movie is out.
I wanted to go head-to-head with Tim Allen, and they didn't let Tim Allen do it. I don't understand that. Just as long as people come back to the motion picture theater, I want to go back into the theater with a bunch of strangers and leave with something in common.
You've seen the Elvis movie?
Yeah, I think I have some of them. Oh, no, I'm sorry. You asked me if the Elvis movie.
The current one.
No, I have not, but you know what?
Would like it.
I'm going to go see it. I'm going to go see it.
All right, we're going to go see news, 8 o'clock.
Some much-needed rain is on the way. We saw a little bit of it yesterday. More showers and storms later this afternoon and clear through Saturday, I believe. Now, the thunderstorms that we see today, they could be strong to severe. We actually have a level 2 threat for severe weather with a high in the mid-90s. We also have a heat advisory in effect with heat index values probably up to 109 in some spots. Early evening storms, the low in the low to mid-70s, and more storms for your Thursday that could be severe as well. I'm Mike Mays in the Weather Center.
Broadcasting from the top of the North Carolina Sandhills, 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB, Southern Pines, Pinehurst, Aberdeen.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. A bond hearing later today for Robert Cremo III, facing 7 first-degree murder charges in the July 4th massacre in Highland Park, Illinois. The 21-year-old was able to legally buy 5 guns, even though police were called to his home twice in 2019. Christopher Covelli with the Lake County Sheriff's Office says one of the calls came in September of that year.
A family member reported that Cremo said he was going to kill everyone, and Cremo had a collection of knives. The police responded to his residence. The police removed 16 knives, a dagger, and a sword from Cremo's home. At that time, there was no probable cause to arrest. There were no complaints that were signed by any of the victims.
Covelli speaking with WLS-TV. Vice President Harris paid a visit to the scene of the attack.
It should never have happened. We talk about it being senseless. It is senseless.
Harris talking about more gun control. President Biden is sending oil from America's Strategic Petroleum Reserve abroad. More than 5 million barrels exported to Europe and Asia last month, as first reported by Reuters. This at a time when the president has been browbeating oil companies and, most recently, gas station owners. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen says a 27-nation EU needs an emergency plan for a total loss of Russian energy supplies.
We think it is very important to have a European overview and a coordinated approach to a potential complete cutoff of Russian gas.
Some time ago, then President Trump had warned Germany of its overdependence upon Russian energy. On Wall Street this morning, stock futures in the red, Dow futures down 94 points, NASDAQ futures off 59, S&P futures 15 points lower. More on these stories at townhall.com.
If you have certain chronic conditions, such as heart disease,
asthma,
diabetes, and you're 19 years of age or older,
52, 36,
42, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I'm going to ask my doctor about getting vaccinated
with Prevnar 20.
A defiant British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, his government shaken by the resignation of 2 senior ministers, is fighting to stay in power.
Johnson's first challenge is getting through the day, where he faces tough questions in the weekly Prime Minister's question session in Parliament and a long-scheduled grilling by a committee. Months of discontent over Johnson's judgment and ethics within the Conservative Party has erupted with the resignations of Treasury Chief Rishi Sunak and Health Secretary Sajid Javid within minutes of each other on Tuesday. Johnson quickly replaced the 2 ministers, but a string of other resignations show the danger to Johnson is far from over. Charles de Ledesma, London.
Germany will not achieve its targets for phasing out fossil fuels and ramping up renewable energy by 2030 with the measures currently in place. That, according to the respected German Institute for Economic Research. News and analysis, townhall.com. 2 western states may be close to settling their long-running feud over the beleaguered Rio Grande.
The fight between Texas and New Mexico over the management of one of the longest rivers in North America could be nearing an end. New Mexico's Attorney General says a trial date's been put off by a special master appointed by the Supreme Court since the parties agreed to continue settlement negotiations. The years-long battle over the Rio Grande has become a multi-million-dollar case in a region where water supplies are dwindling amid increased demand. The Rio Grande through parts of New Mexico marked record low flows earlier this year. Rhonda Rockster reporting.
Britain's competition watchdog investigating whether Amazon is harming competition and hurting consumers by giving an unfair advantage to merchants that pay for extra services. The British investigation echoes similar probes carried out by the European Union's Executive Commission and Germany's Antitrust Authority. More on these stories, townhall.com.
The greatest comeback of all time is underway. Remember to shop local businesses. A reminder from Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
John Cole's Plumbing Professionals has been voted Best Plumbing Company in the 2021 Best of the Pines competition, making them the area's best plumber for the 3rd year in a row. And they'd like to sincerely thank each and every person who voted. They'd also like to renew the promise of exceptional customer service, quality workmanship at a fair, on-the-level price. That's the winning formula at John Cole's Plumbing Professionals.
John Cole's Plumbing Professionals.
When it comes to insurance, you should always think First. First Casualty Insurance Group, that is. At First, we represent over 3 dozen outstanding companies and can provide you with the coverage you need at a price that makes sense. Have us do a top-to-bottom review for you. It won't cost you a cent. Stop by or we'll come to you. There's no obligation. Always, the coverage you need at a price that makes sense. And all you have to do is give us a call, 910-692-8303. We've been in the peace of mind business for over 30 years. First Casualty Insurance Group, Southern Pines, 910-692-8303.
It's our 1-year anniversary of owning your local Sears hometown store in Aberdeen. Hi, this is Katherine Phelps. Joe and I want to thank all of our customers for their patronage and warm, heartfelt welcome to our new community. Remember, creating relationships and helping you make an informed buying decision is our business. And we'll price match any in-stock local competitor. So please shop your locally owned Sears hometown store, Aberdeen.
If there was a better way to handle your finances, when would you want to know? Tune in to White Horse Financial Solutions every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. here on WEEB. Sandy Ridge Memory Care provides all the amenities of home while providing personalized resident care and a dedication to a safe, secure, and comfortable environment for your loved one. Providing care for dementia and Alzheimer's population has been our specialty for over 20 years. Research has proven that a loving, structured, and intimate home environment successfully fulfills the needs of both the one affected by dementia and Alzheimer's, as well as the family caregivers. As one of the largest memory care facilities in North Carolina, we feature 3 separate secure units within our community. Each wing is designed for individual needs and preferences. Call for an appointment or just drop in to tour our facility and discover for yourself the care that sets us apart. Located only minutes from Moore County and surrounding areas, Sandy Ridge Memory Care is the right place at the right time on Bowman Road in Candor or online at sandyridgeliving.com. Call 910-974-6000.
My name is Tony Keith of Keith Hardware in Carthage, North Carolina. I'm the 3rd generation of a family-owned business. We've been in business for 83 years. We sell live bait, crickets, minnows, and worms, fishing tackle, nuts and bolts and screws by the piece. You can still come in and get nails weighed out by the pound or 1s or 2s, however you'd like.
The guys, they know what they're doing. You don't have to ask for service. You tell them what you need. If they ain't got it, usually they can conjure it up.
Keith Hardware has been a tradition in this town for as long as I've been in business, 42 years, and they run a good business and they're good people.
I came in with 2 pieces of plumbing. I handed it to this guy, and he took off the back and picked it up and brought it back. Their knowledge is invaluable to me.
With Keith Hardware for 28 years. I rent the building from them next door, and Tony and Ginger are doing an excellent job. I'm proud of them.
Come visit Keith Hardware today at 207 Monroe Street in Carthage.
We're just an old-fashioned hardware store.
NCI News. I'm Mike Riley. The focus of this year's 4th of July weekend rapidly shifted as a number of mass shootings occurred across the country. Law enforcement says the man responsible for the Highland Park shooting can be linked to social media posts that discuss acts of violence, including shootings. As for red flag laws in North Carolina, Pitt County Representative Brian Farkas told WITN.
I believe that in some of the other states where you've seen this move forward, that the data is supporting a reduction in violence. I think it's practical.
When state lawmakers ended their session last week, they left Raleigh with several significant issues unresolved, including legalizing medical marijuana and expanding health coverage. House Speaker Tim Moore told CBS 17.
These are just tough issues to deal with, particularly when we're in a budget situation where we're going to be here only 6 weeks and be done.
Excessive heat warnings and advisories are posted across the Mid-South, including North Carolina, the Deep South, Southeast, as far as record temperatures and high humidity go. Lizzie Johnson Humphrey took her grandchildren to a water park in Memphis.
It's humid, but because Mother Nature every now and again throws in a little bit of wind and the fan is going, it's really nice.
The fire burning in the Sierra Nevada Gold Country triples in size and forces more residents out of their homes. Tony Lopez has that.
Crews have reached 5% containment. The fire is now at 3,900 acres. Right now, no structures have been damaged or destroyed, but 1,200 remain threatened.
Another drowning at Oak Island over the weekend makes the town's 4th of the year. In a recent drowning incident, emergency services had trouble getting on the beach because of cars blocking the beach access. Oak Island official Mike Emery told WECT.
The town of Oak Island has 65 public beach access locations in roughly about a 9 to 10 mile stretch of beach, more than any other coastal town in the Carolinas.
You're listening to NCN News.
Agriculture drives our local economy. I'm Lee Ivey, Director of the Agricultural Institute at NC State University, and we are looking for our next generation of innovative leaders. Our graduates are part of the global economy, and we provide hands-on training in our exceptional facilities, including our animal units and greenhouses. Earn a 2-year degree and receive networking opportunities to help you land a rewarding career. 2 years, 1 degree, endless possibilities. Learn more at cows.ncsu.edu/AGI.
104.1
Ag. 1 4.1 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB, Southern Pines, Pinehurst, Aberdeen. Your listening to NCN News. Agriculture drives our local economy. I'm Lee Ivey, Director of the Agricultural Institute at NC State University, and we are looking for our next generation of innovative leaders. Our graduates are part of the global economy, and we provide hands-on training in our exceptional facilities, including our animal units and greenhouses. Earn a 2-year degree and receive networking opportunities to help you land a rewarding career. 2 years, 1 degree, endless possibilities. Learn more at cows.ncsu.edu/AGI.
Spring and the onset of summer increases the likelihood of thunderstorms. Alternative Power, your North Carolina Generac service provider, reminds you to stay alert. As a thunderstorm approaches, get out of boats and away from water. If you're caught outdoors, find a low spot away from trees, fences, and poles. Alternative Power guards homes against extended power outages with the Generac automatic standby generator. Alternative Power, North Carolina's Generac experts. See more at alternativepower.com.
COVID numbers are soaring across Europe. CBS News correspondent Elaine Cobb reports from Paris.
COVID hospitalizations in Ireland have jumped by almost 350% over the past month. The government plans a major vaccine push this fall amid warnings mask wearing may have to be reintroduced. In Italy, new daily cases this week exceeded 100,000 for the first time since February. And in France, new infections are up almost 60% over the last 7 days, while the numbers in intensive care are up 30% over the same period. Elaine Cobb, CBS News, Paris.
Access to free COVID-19 testing is changing in Wake County. The demand and need for appointments has changed, according to Wake County Health Department Director Rebecca Kaufman. Now the number is down to 2,700. Kaufman tells ABC 11.
Testing itself isn't going away. We're just going from a drive-through model to an at-home test model.
A man pleaded guilty on Tuesday to charges stemming from the fatal shooting of a police officer near Charlotte in 2020. During the hearing, Joshua Tyler Funk of Mount Holly entered a guilty plea for murder. The heat got the better of a Grammy-winning guitarist at a concert in Michigan last night.
Fans say it was just after Carlos Santana introduced a song he performs with Chris Stapleton that he fainted.
Get him some cold water! Cold water! Pour it over him!
Social media posts show the 74-year-old waving to cheering fans as medics wheeled him away on a stretcher. A spokesman blames heat exhaustion and dehydration. He says Santana is doing well after he was taken to a local hospital for observation. Tonight's show in Pennsylvania will be rescheduled. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
We are off to a quiet start this morning, but later this afternoon and evening, showers and thunderstorms are likely. They'll develop to our north and west, move to the southeast. We have the threat for severe weather. It's damaging winds and perhaps some hail, but more importantly, it is much-needed rain, and this much-needed rain stays in the forecast through Saturday. The high today in the mid-90s, early evening showers and storms, the low in the low to mid-70s, and then for tomorrow, more scattered showers and storms, the high in the low 90s. I'm Mike Mays in the Weather Center.
Right now, here in the Sand Hills area, we're under a heat advisory. Sunny skies, 73 degrees. Humidity 97%, 2.72. Wind gusts are up to 1 mile per hour. Pressure is 30-34, and solar radiation 38 watts per square meter. Let's take a look at your news. It is 8:14. The Pinehurst resident is safely in custody after barricading himself in his home Monday afternoon. The incident took place on Burning Tree Road, not far from the marina. His wife and children were safe with authorities while law enforcement attempted to convince the man, a military veteran, into surrendering. The standoff went on several hours as additional law enforcement teams arrived, including a SWAT team and an armored tactical vehicle from Richmond County Sheriff's Department. At approximately 6:30 p.m., law enforcement was able to safely take the man into custody. It is unknown at this time what caused the veteran to take such action, but a law enforcement official said he will now be able to get the help that he needs. Average gasoline prices in North Carolina have fallen 9.2 cents per gallon in the last week, averaging $4.42 per gallon today, according to Gas Buddy survey of 6,092 stations in North Carolina. Prices in North Carolina are 9.3% per gallon lower than a month ago and stand at $1.54 higher than a year ago. The price of diesel has fallen 6.3 cents nationally in the past week and stands at $5.72 per gallon. According to Gas Buddy price reports, the cheapest station in North Carolina was priced at $3.99 a gallon yesterday, while most expensive was $5.59, a difference of $1.60. The national average price of gasoline has fallen 10.4 cents per gallon in the last week, averaging $4.78 per gallon today. The national average is down 7.2 cents per gallon from a month ago and stands $1.66 per gallon higher than a year ago, according to Gas Buddy's data compiled from more than 11 million weekly reports covering 150,000 gas stations across the country. In the early morning hours of July 4th, Southern Pines Fire and Rescue with automatic aid partners were dispatched to McNish Road in the Tallamore community for a structure fire, according to the Southern Pines Fire and Rescue. While en route to the call, the Moore County dispatcher advised responding units that there was an occupant that was unaccounted for and believed to still be in the residence. Arriving firefighters worked to extinguish the fire while a search group worked without the protection of a hose line to locate the victim. The female victim was located in the bedroom face down on the floor. Crews immediately worked to remove the victim to the front yard, where she was turned over to the Moore County EMS for life-saving treatment. She was transported to the hospital and was showing signs of improvement by the time she reached the hospital. The rescued occupant's husband had been able to self-evacuate through a rear door of the house. However, he had suffered some minor burns and respiratory distress, and he was also treated by EMS. The cause of the fire currently believed to be accidental. That's your WEEB local news this morning from the Sandhill Sentinel. And, of course, you can go online to sandhillsentinel.com for more information. It is 8:19. Sports is next right here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB.
The Morning Sports Report is brought to you by Hughes Supply of Pinehurst. With over 50 years' experience, Hughes Supply can handle all your plumbing project needs from start to finish. Call 910-295-5541 or visit them online at HughesSupplyPinehurst.com.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. Novak Djokovic erased a 2-set deficit against the 10th-seeded Jannik Sinner to reach the Wimbledon quarterfinals for the 11th time in his career. He came back after falling down 2 sets, 5-7 and 2-6, to win the next 3, 6-3, 6-2, 6-2 on center court for his 26th victory at the All-England Club.
Exciting match to be part of. Not that exciting for me the first 2 sets, but after that I kind of played a new match, to be honest. From the start of the third, I broke his serve early. I felt that I found my rhythm and tempo it was 2 different kind of matches, and I felt completely different from the start of the third.
An NHL team made history on Tuesday.
The San Jose Sharks have hired Mike Greer as their new general manager.
Hi, Sharks fans. It's Mike Greer. I'm your new GM. Really excited to get to work and be back in the Bay Area.
Greer posted that message on social media before the team's official announcement. He's now the first black GM in NHL history. Greer succeeds Joe Will, who took over for Doug Wilson back in April. Greer played 14 seasons in the league, including 3 with the Sharks from 2006 to 2009. And apparently general managing is part of the family business. Greer's brother, Chris Greer, has been GM of the Miami Dolphins since 2016. Monica Ricks, CBS News.
First round of the NHL draft, meanwhile, is a day away, and Canes president and general manager Don Waddell is talking about their selection process. He tells Spectrum News they have to wait a long time to make their first pick.
It was going to be a late pick, so it would have been 28th or 29th this year. Not that you don't want to value those picks, but it's not like we're giving up a top 10 or top 15 pick. So, you never know what's going to come your way.
Carolina has to wait until the 60th selection in the second round to make their first pick. They'll again pick in the third round when they go 71st. This is NCN Sports.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Some things sound so good you can almost taste it. Like Bluebell Strawberry Lemonade Ice Cream. Delicious strawberry ice cream swirled with lemonade sherbet and sprinkled with lemon-flavored flakes. It's better than you can imagine.
The good old days. are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at your local grocer and pick up your favorite flavor today.
The former president of Team USA Softball is now under investigation for alleged sex crimes with a child. KOVR TV's Elizabeth Kling reports.
Sacramento County Sheriff's Office says 61-year-old John Gouveia was arrested back in April on 8 felony counts of lewd and lascivious acts with a child under age 14. He worked for the National Governing Council for Girls Softball from 1991 to 2019. Investigators say the alleged victim was not associated with the organization.
The Angels' two-way star Shohei Ohtani taking a scoreless streak of 21 2/3 innings to the mound when he starts at Miami tonight. Ohtani's 7-4 with a 2.63 ERA and has won 4 consecutive starts. He struck out 101 batters in 74 innings this year. Josh and Zach, NCN Sports.
We're proud to be working with our local businesses for the greatest comeback of all time.
Come together.
With Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
So you had a whole house generator installed, so that when the power goes out, the power comes right back on. Or it's supposed to. The generator guys at Carolina Power and Generators can make sure it is ready to go when needed with a biannual 35-point inspection, 24-hour service, and much, much more. Maintenance by Carolina Power and Generators equals peace of mind. For more details, visit GeneracNC.com and power up, or call 910-241-4677. That's 910-241-4677.
Cooper Ford has done it again. For the second year in a row, Cooper Ford has earned the prestigious Ford President's Award from the Ford Motor Company, given only to dealers who exemplify exceptional customer service. It's no surprise that Cooper Ford is the dealer of choice in the Sandhills. No games, no gimmicks, no market adjustment addendums or outrageous markups. The price you see is the price you pay at the locally owned Cooper Ford.
I'm Aaron Cooper. Please come see us here in beautiful Carthage or visit us on the web at cooperford.net. And as always, working really hard to be your hometown dealer.
Neck, shoulder, or back pain can be downright debilitating. If you have those issues, you already know that, and you don't need me to tell you about the opioid crisis. There's another, better way. I'm talking about chiropractic, a healing art that's also science. Dr. Sharon Wright of Wright Chiropractic in Seven Lakes invites you to come in for a discussion about how chiropractic works and could work for you. To be sure, there are many of you out there that have reached the proverbial dead end trying to treat and manage your pain.
This is Dr. Wright. I can't guarantee I can fix every problem, but I will tell you honestly whether chiropractic can be of help for your particular issue. Living with pain is not always the only option. Doesn't it make sense to explore every avenue before resigning yourself to the limitations of pain? Call our office today to schedule a consultation and start living again. 673-2225.
Hi, this is Rodney Swarms with Plumbing Night. We know that plumbing emergencies can happen at any time. In fact, they seem to happen at the most inconvenient times. And then inviting an unknown plumber into your home, that can add to the stress of the situation. The Plumbing Night wants to alleviate any stress about inviting a technician into your home by guaranteeing that we have not only the very best plumbers, but also the most knowledgeable plumbers. Before any of our employees are hired, all of the employees must undergo drug testing and a thorough background check. If they don't pass, they aren't hired. No exceptions. Once they're hired and part of the team, they receive continuous technical and customer training to ensure that they are the very best at their trade. This training is week after week, month after month, year after year. This training is what got us into community college to teach the plumbing trade. So the next time you have an emergency, call the Plumbing Night. They're known for extraordinary service and integrity.
Call the Plumbing Night at 639-5555, day or night, or on the web at theplumbingnight.com.
New York Deli is a slice of the Big Apple in Pinehurst. Located in Olmsted Village, New York Deli offers authentic New York bagels and a full breakfast menu until 11 a.m. Looking for lunch? There are 33 signature sandwiches to choose from. New York-style pizza on Wednesdays and Fridays, and now offering Meatball Mondays. New York Deli is open weekdays from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit Moore County Takeout and Delivery Options Facebook page for our menu updates. Call 295-2264 for takeout, or have your order delivered via DoorDash, Grubhub, or Easy Bites.
Thanks for help bringing the economy back. one local purchase at a time.
Kind of uplifts you and you feel better.
It's the greatest comeback of all time. With Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
The Zumwalt Zone is proudly sponsored by Moore County Citizens for Freedom. Always looking out for you.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt Zone. Now, I'm not going to mention the name of the place, but more than likely you've eaten there. I'd be real surprised if I ever find myself eating there again. It is a national chain restaurant. The food is great at all the other ones. It just seems to me this one can't get it together. We walked into the place last week and were immediately seated. There weren't that many people in the place. The waiter was pleasant enough. We placed our order and foolishly waited, thinking our food would arrive shortly. Just about the time a normal person would have given up and gone somewhere else, the waiter walked up to us and said, "I'll be back in a little bit. I've got to move my car from the front to the back of the parking lot. That way I don't have so far to walk when I get off." And just like that, he was gone. About 10 minutes later, he showed up with some drink refills. I finally asked him about our food, which was a very simple order. He said, "Oh, I don't know. Let me go check." He wandered around, I know, another 10 minutes, and finally brings over 4 small plates for our non-existent bread. I turned the plates over and dumped the water out of them. Then we dried them off. The bottom line is this. We got service that was so bad that I was being super nice because I really thought there was a good chance. There is no way I'm not on candid camera on this one. I hope you have a good day and a safe one. From the Zumwalt Zone.
Some much-needed rain is on the way. We saw a little bit of it yesterday. More showers and storms later this afternoon and clear through Saturday, I believe. Now, the thunderstorms that we see today, they could be strong to severe. We actually have a level 2 threat for severe weather with a high in the mid-90s. We also have a heat advisory in effect with heat index values probably up to 109 in some spots. Early evening storms, the low in the low to mid-70s, and more storms for your Thursday that could be severe as well. I'm Mike Mays in the Weather Center.
And now, the Sandhills' #1 morning show. Mornings with the LeaderMan. Here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
What day is it?
Today is like no other.
National Fried Chicken Day. If you love fried chicken, and I made fried chicken, and I know that you love fried chicken, why would I make boiled turkey?
Truth be told, I do love fried chicken.
I love fried chicken.
His finger looking good.
I'm Harlan, a robot technology, and I want to wish you a happy National Fried Chicken Day.
It's showtime. My girl is banging, she's so low maintenance. Don't need no champagne, poppin' entertainment. Take her to Wendy's, can't keep her off me. She wanna dip it like them fries in her frosty. But every now and then when I get paid, I gotta spoil my baby with enough gravy. Hey, yeah, we fancy like Applebee's on a date night. Got that Bourbon Street steak with the Oreo shake. Get some whipped cream on the top two. 2 straws, 1 check, girl, I got you. Bougie like Natty in the styrofoam. Squeaking in the truck bed all the way home. With some Alabama jammer, she my Dixieland delight. That's how we do, fancy like.
Good morning, Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sandhills. It's time once again for Mornings with the LeaderMan. I am Steve Leader Adams along with Colonel. Oh, no, I didn't. Colonel's not here today. He'll be here tomorrow. In a moment, we'll have the extended Zumwalt Zone. Don't forget, of course, we're being heard and seen around the world on the live video stream. That's available to you from our website at talk973.com or talk1041.com or WEEB990.com. Top middle of the page is where the link's located on your mobile device. You can get to it by using YouTube and put Mornings with the LeaderMan, LeaderMan, all one word spelled like it sounds, in the search. And if you're looking for our on-air signal any time of the day, you can get to it any time of the day, 24/7. Upper right-hand corner of all our web pages has an icon that says On the Air, Listen Live. Click that once and you're listening that quick. Weather for us today here in the Sand Hills area. All this heat and humidity is going to stick with us through Saturday. Then on Sunday, we get a break in temperature and humidity. So Sunday will be rather nice outside. But until then, we got some misery to endure. For today, partly cloudy with a chance of thunderstorms, high around 91, heat index 101. Then tonight, mostly cloudy with a chance of thunderstorms, low of 75. And then for Thursday, look for partly cloudy with a high of 93. And then Thursday night, well, also the heat index is going to be 101 on Thursday. Then for Thursday night, look for things to be partly cloudy with thunderstorms, 76 for a low. Friday, another day of storms and thunderstorms, 93 for high, heat index 104. That's the worst of the week. Saturday, we still got the same thing going on, a little cooler, 90 for high, heat index of 96. But like I said, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, sunshine, 88 for high on Tuesday. And the humidity will be down also. The dew points will be down to a more tolerable level. Right now around the Sand Hills, solar radiation is at 38 watts per square meter, pressure 30-34. Winds are calm, gusting to 1, pressure, dew point 72, humidity 97%. It is sunny and 73 degrees currently here at Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. All right, it's 8:33 straight up on this Wednesday, and that means it's time for the extended Zoom All Zone. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Steve. It's always a little bit hurtful when you mention the Colonel, and then I can just see the hurt in your eyes when you look over and see me instead of the Colonel. But I'm glad to be here. Good morning, everyone. I'm glad to be here because I've got a great guest. He's been on here before. He was here before he knew he was going to be in the primaries. Good morning. I'll tell you first who he is. Jim Von Cannon, a retired sergeant major. He saw combat in Afghanistan, relatively recently retired, and he's running for District 1 of the County Commissioners. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, John. Thank you and Steve for having me on this morning.
Well, you've led me to say a word about Steve. Steve owns this station, and I don't know if a lot of folks realize how much time that he gives up, paid time, to allow candidates to come on here for no cost to talk about their candidacy. And it's a great service to this community, and I hope folks will listen. We're going to have a lot of the higher court officials that are running Supreme Court and the Court of Appeals, and every candidate we can get on here, the conservative candidates, because this is a conservative station. If you want to come in here as a liberal, I would love to interview you. Okay, let's get started. Jim, you and I are friends. I've known you for, I don't know, not that long, but we've become friends. And I want folks to know that when I ask these questions, because I don't want them to think I'm going easy on you. Your opponent in this election, one of your opponents, was on this station not too long ago and made some pretty stern statements about you. He said that he had been supporting you. And the reason we know that, he withdrew his support from you because of some things that you had done or one of your supporters had done during the election. He told us that he had been on your side, but and by the way, he's a retired Special Forces guy as well. He's a retired Special Forces major. And so we kind of put you both in the same boat. But he said he withdrew his support because some of the things that you had done during your campaign or allowed your supporters to do was just so disgusting and so awful that he could no longer support you. Now, I asked him several times to tell us what you had done, because I believe then and I believe now that when someone comes on and accuses you of something, no matter if you're a candidate or just someone else, that you have a right to know, you have an obligation to tell the audience what you're talking about. If I tell you that Jim has done something so horrendous I can no longer support him, then you can expect for me to know what that is. So, Jim, I'm asking you now, What did you do during that campaign that could have aggravated him so much that he withdrew his support for you?
Yeah, John, I'm drawing a blank on that. I can tell you, first of all, he wasn't in the campaign at that time. I had two other opponents, and two good opponents, and either would have made a good county commissioner had they been elected. And as a matter of fact, my opponents, I pledged that if they won and were a Republican nominee, that I would push them 120% across the finish line in November. And that was what I intended to do. And right now, I'm not sure, he's not come to me. And I heard the radio broadcast there, and I'm drawing a blank. And not sure what it was, bringing attention. Maybe we can make sure we don't make that mistake again.
Well, so you categorically deny that you have any idea of what he's talking about that you could have done during your campaign?
Have no clue, and I thought he would have, had he had a complaint, addressed it earlier, and we could help put it to bed. But I'm not aware of anything that I've done, and we try to run a clean campaign, and the intention is to run a clean campaign this time. There's no reason to get dirty, and the people don't want to see that either.
All right. Well, if you're listening and you know something, well, give me a call, text me, and let me know. Get a hold of me on Messenger on Facebook. I have not been able to find anything, and I'll be honest with you, I don't believe anything happened. If it did, I don't know why we couldn't track it down, because we've tried. Let's talk about some of the things that we believe in this great nation and this county, and some of that may not necessarily apply to county commissioner, but some of them do. Like, for example, Second Amendment, guns. Where do you stand on the Second Amendment?
I'm a strong believer in the Second Amendment. I'm instructor for the NRA in North Carolina, and I think everybody should, we're granted that right to own guns, and until you abuse that as an individual, and then we should take the individual's rights away, not the whole country's. You can't judge the tens of millions of gun owners with somebody that makes a poor decision and probably shouldn't have had a gun to begin with.
Jim, we've had several tries to make this a Second Amendment county. Now, the commissioners did vote on a watered down one. Would you support any kind of a document that stated and signed by the Moore County Commissioners that we are a Second Amendment supporting county? That has no legal weight whatsoever. But what it does is to assure each person who lives here that you're not going to have to worry. You're not going to have our sheriff is solidly behind the Second Amendment. Our police officers, as far as I know, our police officials are solidly behind this. Would you have any trouble supporting an amendment that was not the least bit ambiguous, but said we completely 100% support the Second Amendment, and Moore County is a Second Amendment county?
I would be the first one to put my signature on that, and letting people know that are coming through or coming to our county that we don't intend to be victims, and that we are legal gun owners and will protect our homes and families.
All right. Well, let's go to another amendment. Let's take the First Amendment, the right to free speech. Now, I would not normally mention this because who could imagine that anyone would not allow free speech? Now, you're not going to be a school board member. You're going to be a county commissioner. And we've seen times at the school board where the people didn't have a right to speak, not freely. They could come up and they had a very limited time. We couldn't allow people were not allowed to come in, and no applause, things like that. When you become a commissioner, within the rules, now we know people can't come up and scream and holler and use profanity, but we know that they can be loud because they're upset. They're upset sometimes at the county commissioners, and I don't blame them. But would you completely support allowing people to have their say within the time limit allotted if you're a commissioner, and not cut them off if they start, if they get too loud or they say that they're sick of you or things like that?
Well, I think that people have to have common respect for the audience in the room, but I think that parents definitely ought to have a say in how their children are educated. It's very important they have our educators have a captive audience for 13 years, 7 hours a day. They spend more waking hours with our children than we do. And if there's something wrong, they should be able to address the board. And I think we need a bigger venue there because the little room they're jamming them up in right now, I think it's not good to have parents sitting outside wondering what's going on or having to listen on their radios when they have a concern.
What about the county commissioner meetings when someone comes in and calls you out by name and says, listen, Commissioner Von Cannon is absolutely not doing his job and he should be doing it better and I'm sick of it, and he starts getting loud and he are you going to, now it's easy to say this on the radio, Jim, but are you going to cut this guy off? Are you going to let him talk?
You know what, we'll address and say it needs to be a little more respectful, calm it down, but I've got thick skin, and if there's something bothers him enough to get behind the mic, then it's something we need to address, and it's either founded or unfounded, but we need to be transparent, but we need to be respectful and to the audience.
Well, you and I might disagree on this one then, because I believe if a guy comes in, he's a fear of losing his property because of the zoning or something like that. I think he has a right to raise his voice and be a little bit loud. And I don't think that it should bother any commissioner one little bit if a guy's angry with you and raises his voice. But as you said, you have to cross that bridge when you get there. You're a Republican, Jim?
Yes, sir, I am. And I have always been since I was 18.
So how old are you now?
I'll be 64 years young this next birthday.
I got you beat, brother, by a long way. Do you support abortion?
I don't support abortion. I think that it's been used for too long as a manner of birth control, and I think people need to be smarter and more responsible. And I don't support abortion. There's
a move underway now to get a document signed by the county commissioners, and there's a move that's underway to make this an abortion free community. Now, that doesn't mean that you cannot have abortion by whatever law is legal. A document like that would not stop anything, but it does mean that we support life in babies, and it means that we want people to know that we are not we don't support abortion. And again, if you went to the hospital to get an abortion and it was legal, the doctor would not tell you, well, we can't do it because Moore County had a document. It's merely a document to show our support. Would you sign something like that?
Yes, I would. I think that people need to know who we are and what we stand for, and it should be right out front. When they enter the county, they should be aware of where they're at, and if it's something they don't support or don't like, then they're going to have to contemplate whether they visit here or live here. But I think that's something we can live with. Like you said, it lets them know who we are and why, but it really doesn't have any bite. We have to go by right now the laws of the state of North Carolina enforces.
Well, that's something I like to hear you say, Jim, because whether we like it or whether we don't like it, law is law, and the way that we change it is to get it go before our legislators and get the law changed. And this business of rioting every time there's something you don't like has got to stop. Let's talk about schools. You're not going to be a member of the school board. If you're elected, you're going to be a member of the county commissioners. The county commissioners have no control over the school board, except they control the money. They don't control all of it, but they certainly control a great, humongous part of it. Almost 50% of the county funds will go to the schools. Well, how do you see yourself working with the school board?
Well, I can tell you, I will work hard for them and with them, and one of the main reasons I was running is someday in the not too distant future, I'd love to have some grandchildren here in Moore County, and it would be great if they could go to public schools. But I don't think I would want to put them in our schools right now until we get our ducks in a row. We need to bring up our reading skills. We need to take some of the disgusting things that they have through kindergarten through 5th grade out of their libraries. No need for it. We need to let the families raise the children and let the teachers educate, and they're fully capable of doing that. And I think we've got a new superintendent that's going to do great things there. I've got the utmost confidence in him. We'll work with the board. We've got some good conservative Christians running right now, and we're going to be behind them 110%, and I think we'll see some unbelievable changes in 23. And like I said, I support the three conservative Christian candidates now, Pauline, Ken, and Shannon Davis. And like I said, when they get on board with the existing conservative members, there's going to be a big change. We're going to bring our school grades up. We won't have any D-rated schools. And like I said, we'll work with them, but we're not going to give them a blank check. When they say this is what the money's going for, that's what the money. There needs to be accountability, and once it's dedicated to something, that's what it needs to be spent on.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that. Accountability, big word. I think the leader on this, Jim, I think that all of you guys who are running agree that the leader on this will be Nick Pacerno. He's got the experience, and he's totally a conservative. He knows the money. He knows where it's at. He's looked at it. And when I say leader, I don't mean someone that you guys rubber stamp. I mean a man who can show you the kind of lead the way. And if I were you, I'd feel very blessed to have a guy with that much experience that's going to be on the board with you.
And you're absolutely correct. And the county's blessed. Nick's been there before. He's a numbers guy. He can sit down and look. He goes through them. And I've sat with him several occasions and looked at some of the things. And he's catching errors, whether they were intentional or not. But he will keep accountability in the finance, and I'm tickled to death with that, because that'll leave me time to get out and work with the different departments and try to fix shortcomings we've got now. We got a lot of great people working for the county. We need a lot more. We've got a lot of vacancies out there right now, and it's a great county, the best in out of the all 100. But it'll get better. And like I said, we're going to make sure the money is spent appropriately and not wasted.
Well, it is a great county. We love this county. I don't know if I'd want to live anywhere else. It's a little bit hot right now. Steve has got some weather in here that I'm not real crazy about, but it's a county that we're blessed to live in. We're talking today with Jim Von Cannon. He's running for commissioner in District 1, and he's got a couple of folks running against him who are not Republicans, and I've always preached that it's important to be a Republican. It's important to be a Republican because of our conservative values and the fact that we don't represent what Democrats believe in, and that is abortion and open borders, and you can just go on and on and on. Look at the mess they've gotten our country into. So it's wonderful that we are. I would never support anyone except a Republican. Jim, I'm going to change the subject completely and talk about something that you probably cannot imagine that I'm going to talk about. But I've got a truck that does not have a CD player or a 8-track player or anything like that, because we've got XM radio these days, and we've got Bluetooth. We can play whatever we want, as well as, of course, AM, FM. Now, you've got a car out in the parking lot, and I noticed that you don't have a place for Bluetooth out there. What's the deal on that?
Well, in 1967, it didn't come stock with the cars, so it doesn't have the Radio Shack FM converter either. But
well, it's a good-looking car, and one of the first things that struck me was that push button, the old type push button AFM radio.
Yeah, back to basics. You know what? Great car. I think it probably gets, for a 327 motor in it, pretty good gas mileage, and fun to drive. And when you open the hood, there's not that much to work on now. You don't have to be a rocket scientist.
And you can actually see what you're working on.
You see the whole motor, bare and beautiful.
What do you consider to be some of your top efforts that you want to place your work into that made you run for county commissioner?
Well, we've already mentioned that education is one of the big ones. Our children are our future. I'd like to see our schools get back to vocational, and right now, some kids don't have the desire or means to go to college, and it would be nice if we could get, with the shortage of labor we've got out there, if we could schedule all their required courses in the morning, where their junior and senior year, these kids, like I said, that don't have the desire or means to go to college, that they could apprentice with a plumber or HVAC guy or electrician or whatever. It would help us with job shortages. If the gentleman owning the company trained them and worked them part-time for 2 years, they could walk right into a good job with benefits on graduation. So school is very important. Our children are our future. I can tell you, law enforcement, with Biden's open borders right now, we've got some real problems out there. The sheriff's doing really good. I'd like to make sure that he has all the tools he needs to keep us safe, to where we can move freely around the county. We've got human trafficking here in the county. We've got drug overdoses. The drugs dealers are lacing everything with fentanyl. We just got a lot going on that you don't see on a daily basis, but we want to make sure that he's got all the equipment he needs in order to keep us safe and secure. Those are two really big. I think that at this point, some of the things, I know we don't build roads in the county, but I'm very disappointed that we have several developments that came in before zoning, that the buses and the mail can't be delivered to these people's homes. They didn't move here and retire. They have lived here all their life, and they seem to, some of them, be forgotten. So I think when we get in there, I want to work with the whether it's the federal government, state of North Carolina, and Tom McInnes with roads in the county to help these people out. It's really bad when you can't get your mail delivered, or buses can't pick your children up, and you've got city water, but you don't have a road that's usable. And these people, in speaking with a lot of them, they can't sell their homes because nobody will loan money if they don't have a workable driveway. So those kind of things off the side, and I'd like to see us get a lot of good qualified candidates for our positions here. We need to make sure we're not a training ground for the rest of the state of North Carolina. We have a tendency to train some people up, get them working really hard for us 2 years, and sometimes not very much money gets them hired away to another county. These people live here by choice. They love Moore County, and we don't have to pay the most, but we need to pay responsible wages and keep our good employees here.
Well, Jim, I'm glad to hear that you mentioned something that I have not heard anyone else mention. Maureen and I talk about this a lot on our Sunday show, and we'd like you to come on there sometime, but we talk about the fact that there are people who can't get roads or can't get septic or can't get whatever. And 99% of the time, forget that, 100% of the time, it's the fault of some bureaucrat that has some stupid rule that says you cannot do this. And you're right, of course, Moore County doesn't build roads, DOT does, but there are ways to get things done. And there are also people unelected bureaucrats standing in the way with rocks to throw at you every step of the way. And I think that the right set of county commissioners with the right attitude, an attitude of friendliness and pleasantness, and an attitude of we're going to get this done. We're going to help people who need help. The kind of the forgotten people out there. So I'm really glad to hear you say that. Listen, I know your campaign manager fairly well. You want to say hello to her?
Oh, yeah, Nancy Fiorella, former mayor in Pinehurst. She's the only reason I've gotten as far as I am now. I've been surrounded by great people, and her being one of them. She runs my campaign, and the people that are backing me and supporting me, I got it. No better Americans out there, and I am what I am and where I'm at because of them.
So a while ago, off air, you told me it was because of your looks.
Well, that's a big part of it. That's it, and my charming personality. But
yeah,
you'll be getting some text and tweets right now immediately, I'm sure. But
no, Jim, you're a good-looking guy, and you are very charming. Listen, don't you think that, just to chat for a minute, does it seem to you that crime has gotten worse in the last 6 months or a year? We're hearing about shootings. We're hearing about barricaded suspects. This has become an area, for some reason, or we probably know the reason, but doesn't seem to you like violent crime has gone up a little?
It has, and I, not to mention the summer and full moons, but people are frustrated out there. You know, right now we have 13,000 people below the poverty level here in Moore County, and that was per the last census. I'm sure the numbers have grown in the last 6 months. But when they go in the grocery store, when they go to the gas station, your checking account has a limited amount of money. And it's kind of ridiculous with the assets we have in this country that we're paying $5 or $6 for fuel, or we're contemplating buying it from countries that support terrorism. I think that people's level of frustration, we have selective enforcement in this country, and unfortunately the laws are supposed to be equal to enforced equally, and then when you get to court, enforced equally, but we know it's not. We've got district attorneys that have been paid for by George Soros all across the country.
Yes, we do.
And they're letting people back out on the streets, and they're committing the same crimes they went in for. And, you know, we've got these defund the police and no bail states and whatever. That's why we're seeing so many people move to North Carolina and Moore County right now, is because they didn't have a safe, responsible place to live. But people are frustrated, and when they look at the idiotic things being done in D.C., good and bad, but by Republicans and Democrats right now, we need to all get on the same sheet of music and America first.
All right. Well, Jim, we've got about a minute left. Tell us where people can go to read about you, to see the truth about how handsome you are, or not, and where can they go to read about you or check on your campaign?
They can go on to Facebook, or they can go on to, we have
just Jim Von Cannon Facebook?
Yeah, Jim Von Cannon or Jim Von Cannon for County Commissioner, and then we have the same thing with the number 4, Jim Von Cannon for County Commissioner webpage. And I'd love to hear from people, figure out what keeps them up at night, and put it right there on things we need to work at. And like I said, I'm going to just leave you with, I love Moore County, and am just excited to be here with an opportunity to serve her.
All right, Jim. Well, thank you, Jim Von Cannon, running for County Commissioner. Thank you for coming and being our guest today, and hopefully we'll have you pretty soon on the John and Marine Show.
Thanks for having me.
All right, and so it goes for this Wednesday. Have yourself a great, safe day. We'll see you back bright and early tomorrow, 7 to 9 for a thumping Thursday morning with the LeaderMan. Until then, be sure to support the advertisers you hear on our stations, because they're our economic salvation. Because when you spend money with them, they live here, work here, and all that, so the money rolls over here and turns over and creates more jobs. When you spend it at the Mega Mart, well, your money's gone to China, Indonesia, and Sri Lanka. And don't forget also that millions of Americans have fought and they have died to give and protect the freedoms that you get to enjoy today. Live today worthy of their and their family's sacrifice. I'm Steve Leader Adams and the LeaderMan, and Kid Nick and Colt the Dog will all see you this afternoon at the hot, steamy dog park.